Well, belated 75th anniversary to Angela Swarts and Spherion. How are you?
I am doing great today. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So it's been a bit more than 75 years across the country, but how many years have you been with Spherion?
I have been with Spherion now since 1989. I was 12 when I joined.
Of course,
right?
of course. I would have guessed 11, but I understand. Sure.
Yeah. But we've been a part of the CSRA business community since 1987. I just wasn't fortunate enough to join until 89.
Understood. Now, obviously, there have been so many changes across the decades, but why don't we have the dividing line at COVID? How did things change with COVID, and how have you been keeping up with that?
Oh, my goodness. So everything has changed since COVID. I mean, this is not your daddy's workforce anymore. When COVID hit, people were first forced to work remotely. They witnessed friends, family members passing, and it really impacted them in a way that has them reprioritizing work-life balance. We always saw the trend for more work-life balance, but that really brought it to the forefront. I know you've heard the terms quiet quitting. Mm-hmm. The hustle culture is gone. It's just not there anymore. People need that work-life balance. And I always tell employers, you need to be revisiting what you've done over the last 20 years, because that's not going to allow you to hire the people you need for the next 20 years. Mm-hmm. Whether that's making decisions on shorter work weeks. I mean, look at the UAW. They're advocating for a 32-hour work week.
Wow.
So it doesn't make sense for your business. Can you offer maybe 4-day work weeks at 10-hour shifts or 32 hours? Can you provide a remote work opportunity for individuals where it makes sense? I'm sure there are functions where it does. And where there isn't, can you provide job sharing or even just additional flexibility to work from home when needed so that the people can do what they need to do, all while continuing to contribute to the organization's success.
And we're continuing with Angela Swarts, and the website is Spherion.com. They have offices in 39 different states, franchise offices. All you have to do is click on the Augusta office, and you will get Angela. How have those conversations gone with your employers and your employees about just shifting a little bit about the workday and such? I mean, have employers been receptive to making changes?
Well, I think like anything else, change can be difficult, right? And it takes time to review what you're doing and how you can make adjustments and where those adjustments can be made. So they understand things will change, and they're trying to do what they can to accommodate today's workforce. It's from an employee perspective, unfortunately, everybody wants to work from home. And the reality is you can't. If you're in healthcare, you can't serve patients from home. Hospitality, that industry has been decimated from COVID. You have folks that unfortunately do not want that face-to-face contact anymore. I think you've been reporting on all the restaurants who have closed.
Yes.
Whether it's supply chain issues or the lack of labor to man the restaurants. So you have to change with the times.
Wow.
But how do we change? And they're still figuring that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the employee side, when one of your counselors works on trying to onboard somebody, are those conversations different? Does it take longer to find people? Does it take longer to hire people?
In general, in this day and age, with the competitive market and the lowest unemployment rates we've seen, I mean, we're down to about the unemployable, right? When you're at a 3.3% unemployment rate. So it has always been a search for a needle in the haystack. It just feels like the haystack is 5 times larger.
Wow.
Because you're still looking for the right candidate, right? So what's important, though, is, employers from a long time has taken the post and pray approach to staffing. I'm just going to throw a job post out there and hope that the right person applies and they hire. Well, what they're finding is they're getting a lot of resumes. They're not the right resumes or the right applications. So this is where you have to do a real hard stuff check in a couple different ways. There's no silver bullet to recruiting. It's utilizing multiple resources where people work, live, play, and click.
Yeah.
So what does your culture look like? What is your employer brand reputation in the marketplace? Are your employees talking about you on Glassdoor, and what are they saying?
Right.
What kind of Google reviews do you have? We are in a time when everybody, I'm sure, you get ready to go to a restaurant, you're looking up the restaurants and reviewing what Google, what previous consumers had to say about them. Well, employees are doing the same thing. They're looking at your reputation, how you're perceived in the marketplace. And in this day and time, people want to be connected with companies that offer something bigger than themselves. They need to know whatever door they're walking into, they're contributing to a bigger cause. If you're not communicating that well, i.e. your culture, what drives you and motivates you to get up every day, you're not going to be able to connect with the person that would probably be best suited for that job. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And to learn a little bit about how you could fit in, whether you're an employer or an employee, the website is up on the screen, spherion.com, and then you go to the Augusta office, and the phone number is 706-868-0911. And for those who are not familiar with your business model, what type of situations do you work with? In other words, are these short-term, long-term arrangements?
Absolutely.
How's that go?
Well, we're a full-service organization, which means we provide short and long-term flexible workers if and when a company needs them. It could be as short as just a few hours for one day to I've had employees that have been in contracts for several years at a time and everything in between. We help companies connect with their full-time workers through either a direct placement or your traditional temp to hire process. And then those organizations who are a bit more strategic with the workforce, where they may outsource a percentage of that workforce and or entire department of functions, we have comprehensive workforce solutions that are designed to help them drive the results they're looking to achieve.
Angela, what is the trend with some of your clients? What are they looking for? A long-term solution or just a stopgap measure?
Okay. That's different with every client.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it. I mean, Augusta is a market where there is a huge investment in a contingent labor workforce, and that's because companies do utilize more temporary labor because it allows them to ebb and flow with the economy, right? Without impacting their employer brand. So, for example, when they go through a dip, if they need to reduce the workforce, they reduce the contingent labor workforce, right? It doesn't impact their permanent employees. They've also realized that I'm really good at this, and this might be building widgets, or this might be developing a law firm that really focuses on law. What I may not be good at is running a call center. Everybody has a customer service group, even law firms, they have intake coordinators. So I might outsource that because I'm not an expert in that. So it's been interesting to watch that evolve over time. And then there are businesses small organizations that don't need flexible staffing as often, but they can't and they don't have the resources to invest in finding the right hire for their business. Mm-hmm. If they're a small business, 20 employees, they're not going to have an HR team, right? It's going to be somebody else who has other responsibilities, whether it's the CFO or the president or the office manager that has other job duties, but you're going to get tasked with bringing that person in. Well, there's a cost to that. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be more reasonable and save you money? Yes, it would, to reach out to somebody like myself who goes through the process of qualifying, screening, and selecting talent, and you only have 2 or 3 people to interview, and you make a hiring decision. We fill your jobs faster, and you are productive much quicker.
Great point on all. And, with our conference, we were scrambling a little bit to see if we had enough people we could stretch to help us set up and intake people. And it was so wonderful to be able to contact you, and you'll have people there. And that's tremendous to be able to have that flexibility, which is really fantastic. Look, again, our theme in our conference, Do More in 2024. How are you as Spherion trying to grow and serve maybe different categories of industries in the future?
Yeah. Portfolio diversification. Isn't that always a big driver for business? And I am no different. So, yes, we have a big, we've done well in a number of sectors. And we are looking to further diversify our office and professional services. So that's really a focus for us across 2024. So
Wow. What type of positions would they be, and what type of positions do you sense professional, let's say, service organizations are looking for?
For us, one of the target markets we have is the healthcare industry.
Okay.
Again, one of the fastest growing, in terms of job openings. There's a great gap there. And you see a lot of burnout right now because of COVID. And that's not only in the clinical side of it, but also in the non-clinical. And we have a specialized hiring process for non-clinical associates and employees. So we really want to make sure the community is aware and why it's different and the impact it could have to their organization. Now, the face of Augusta has changed overall in the last 5 to 10 years. What with the cyber initiatives that are happening here, I think it's a great time to be a part of our community. So that continues to be a growing area. I can't say that we're ready to step into that right now. We're not, but I'm continuing to follow it.
Sure.
Because IT has certainly been an area and one of our areas of expertise along the way.
Yeah. Do you think companies are going to need more salespeople or more HR in the future, or do you have a sense of where it's heading?
It's interesting. There's been a lot of chatter about AI and the impact that it's driving in business, and how it's changing where the human capital needs are. One of those areas, the first to go, they say, will probably be accounting and finance.
Really?
Yes, because if you think that a lot of what can be done can be automated, right? And then people, there'll always be a need for CPAs and for accountants, but the day-to-day transactional business in accounting is pretty much eventually going to be automated. I know from an organizational standpoint, our payroll accounts receivable team, AI has changed it, reducing 150 job functions.
Wow.
If you can imagine. So I think AI is going to play a little bit into some of those decisions. I'm working with a business partner right now that where we place a lot of forklift operators. They're incorporating automated robots to run the lift routes, which takes setup and time. They won't be fully ready for 2 years, but it's still, that's the direction we're moving in. And so people get a little nervous.
But wouldn't there be people behind that?
That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, okay.
So, to be on the front side of those trends is how can you fix the AI, right?
Oh, right.
So the people that can fix the AI and the problems and the hiccups that come up along the way are the ones that are still going to have jobs when it's all said and done. But it's not all doom and gloom. Don't take me.
No. I just think it's fascinating to figure it out.
It is. It is.
That's really great. And that's what it's all about. Solutions, I guess, for what you need in terms of human capital and people in the future and in 2024. And Angela's a wonderful speaker for our expo and, of course, a sponsor. And if you would like some more information on reaching Spherion, the website Spherion.com, and you can click on the Augusta office and the phone number 706-868-0911. Thank you so much. It's great information, and I love it because it's just material we need to know about. It's changing.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's right. That's right. It's changing when companies are revisiting their job descriptions, saying, "Do I need that 4-year degree?"
Wow.
Right. And that's where we're at. Companies are having to rethink. What is really required and needed in that role. So,
yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for all your time.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.